Hi, my name is Brenda Fulmer. I'm a partner with the law firm of Searcy, Denney in West Palm Beach. I'm here to talk to you today about hormone replacement therapy litigation. I've personally been involved in this litigation for about 5 years now, and it's something near and dear to my heart. I represent over 100 women who developed breast cancer after taking hormone replacement therapies for many, many years. My mother herself took the drug and thankfully got off of it before she suffered any ill effects. But this is something that has impacted millions of women in this country. Breast cancer is probably the #1 dreaded disease for any woman, and to think that you actually took a pill that would cause breast cancer is just incomprehensible. The hormone replacement therapy drugs have been on the market for many, many years. The drugs in particular that are part of the litigation is combination hormone therapy. It's given to women who are postmenopausal, and there's two, in the past it was 2 different pills. It would be an estrogen, Premarin, manufactured by Wyeth was the most common estrogen that was given. Premarin is actually, the name Premarin means, is an acronym created from the words pregnant mare's urine. It's actually derived from the urine of pregnant horses, and it's a conjugated estrogen product. It's such a stew of different things that nobody really knows what all is in the product. That's why it's never been successfully made as a generic drug. In addition to Premarin, or the estrogen component of hormone replacement therapy, the patients also took a progestin. And the progestin, the reason why they took a progestin is because back in the 1970s, when women took only Premarin or only the estrogen products and still had a uterus in place, they had an outbreak of uterine cancer in this country, directly attributable to the drugs. And so that is why they added the progestin in the early 1970s in order to protect those women. The problem is that estrogen plus progestin promotes the growth of breast cancer. And that's something that has long been discussed in the medical literature. It's not something, though, that has been well communicated to women, and it's not something, unfortunately, that we had any answers on. We could have had answers, but no drug company that made these drugs actually wanted to study and answer the ultimate question: does our drug cause or promote the growth of breast cancers? We didn't get the answers to that question until July of 2002. The Women's Health Initiative was a study actually funded by the federal government. It took government money to answer the question for women, as opposed to money from the drug companies. The Women's Health Initiative was suspended in July of 2002. They hadn't even completed the study, and it was suspended because there was an increased incidence of breast cancer in the women that were participating in it, and they didn't feel that it was ethical to continue the study and to continue to give women a medication that was causing them to have breast cancer. In addition to that, and one of the things that historically has been an issue with respect to these drugs, women would not have taken these drugs if they were only promoted for their approved uses, the uses that were approved by the FDA, and that was basically for treatment of moderate to severe hot flashes and other menopausal symptoms, and also for protection for osteoporosis. Over the years, the companies, their own internal studies and marketing research and their interactions with doctors, told them that nobody's going to take this medication if there's even this question of breast cancer with such, a small amount of benefits. So let's bump up the benefit side, since we can't do anything about the breast cancer risk. We'll try to distract the doctors. We'll try to, downplay whether there's even a breast cancer risk with the drugs, but let's pump up the benefits. And so they actually put together campaigns. They have a campaign called the Body of Evidence that Wyeth used for many, many years, talking about the benefits of hormone replacement therapy, everything from the top of your head. It prevents Alzheimer's, it prevents hair loss, your skin will look beautiful, you won't lose your teeth, it'll increase your libido, you name it, all types of things. Also that it was protective to the heart, which was a very big issue. By pumping up the benefits so much, and this being presented to patients, they said, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful that I get the opportunity to take these drugs, because they're going to protect me from heart disease, they're going to protect me from Alzheimer's, they're going to make my quality of life so much better. Lots and lots of benefits. At the same time, these women, through their doctors who had imperfect information, were saying, the breast cancer risk, we don't know if it's really there. So basically, the women did not have the ability to make a calculated and reasoned decision on the risks versus the benefits of the drugs. So we had many, many women that took these drugs for years. They were told, they were handed the pills the day that they started menopause, and they were told that they would take them until they died. Unfortunately, that has caused a huge increase in breast cancer in this country. They also have seen the same thing in the United Kingdom. There was a Million Women study that came out after the WHI study, and it also replicated the same things. And then what's really, really interesting in this situation is once the information came out in July of 2002 that the drugs were in fact causing the formation of cancerous cells in the breast, a lot of women stopped taking the medications. It was a very abrupt discontinuation of these combination hormone replacement therapy, and for the first time we actually saw a very significant drop in breast cancer rates, and that's something that's been reported in the last, I don't know, 18 to 24 months, but it's directly attributable to the decline in the use of combination hormone therapy. It's very, very interesting. A drug that for many, many decades was promoted as something that, you know, was a privilege to take, that it was going to benefit every aspect of your life, that it's something you should take from the day you hit menopause until the day you die. Today, in 2003, after the WHI study, women are being told, take it if you really have no other choices, if you have very, very severe symptoms and you've failed in every other option, and take it for the shortest time period possible. So it's a very telling change of events. You know, I look at my clients and say, well, if they had told them that the same information had been available, you know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we could have prevented many, many, many cases of breast cancer in this country, just if women were properly informed. There have also been some recent developments. There are actually some attorney generals are looking into allegations of fraud, scientific fraud, by the drug companies, and that's part of that evidence was uncovered in the HRT litigation. In the litigation, we have found evidence of public relations type companies, marketing companies affiliated with the drug companies that were actually writing articles, promotion pieces that were disguised as scientific articles, published in journals, and then, you know, doctors in turn were relying on that, thinking that it was bona fide science and not just basically marketing puff pieces. So we really don't know how that particular aspect of the case is going to play out. That's information that's still coming out. Unfortunately, a lot of the documents that were disclosed in the course of this litigation are all sealed by the court, and so they're confidential, but hopefully there'll be some changes in the next several months that will allow those documents and that evidence to see the light of day. We even have members of Congress now that are very, very interested in this particular issue. Right now there are more than 10,000 women who have filed lawsuits against the drug manufacturers. Those cases are generally coordinated in the federal courts in Little Rock, Arkansas. There are also pockets of litigation in New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia, and a few cases in Nevada as well. So hopefully those women will continue to see some success in obtaining resolution of their claims. They certainly have been victimized and gone through a lot over the last, you know, several decades. The sad story of the HRT litigation is a perfect example of corporations putting profits over safety, an issue that's been near and dear to the hearts of our firm for many, many decades, and something that hopefully, with the help of members of Congress and some efforts that are ongoing in court, we can show everyone out there what's going on behind closed doors and what's being protected under the cloak of secrecy in our court system as far as evidence of ghostwriting and basically a massive, massive fraud on doctors and their patients.